you guys missed me. I missed you guys too. Let's get into this Christmas $100 budget video. We're going to start with dessert. I call this the peach cobbler dump cake. However, I switched it up a bit and decided to use some mangoes as well. So I have a can of peaches. I have a can of mangoes. Remember to check my description box for whatever you may need. Please check my description box. You want to spice things up however you want to, but I just went with the simple cinnamon and nutmeg. You do not need to add sugar to this. However, if you got that extra sweet tooth, you can add some sugar. It's not going to make it even worse, but you know, I want to eat a piece of this and I didn't want to put more sugar, if you get what I'm saying. So now I'm going to empty out my cake mix. I went with the spiced cake mix, but vanilla or plain white cake mix work as well. Also, I moved, so I don't have all the perfect pans, you guys. So make sure you use a 9x13 when you make these dump cake recipes. I also have that in my description box, but I still made them work and they still turned out delicious. You want to take a stick of super cold or frozen butter that you could cut up into thin slices and put it all over top and pop it in the oven. Dessert number 2, I went with cherry chocolate. This was actually my favorite one, surprisingly. I'm not even sure and know why. But again, as you can see, my baking pan is not as big as it should be, but I made it work. I'm going to use a can and a half of the cherry filling. To this one, I'm not adding any spices to it, but I am going to add some orange juice to thin it out a bit because we still have to cook that cake mixture on top. All right, just like the first cake, I'm going to put the batter on top like this. Again, I'm using the wrong pan because I don't have them as yet. Everything is not yet delivered, but I made it work. You want to add the butter all over top like the last one and pop it into the oven, and I'll show you guys what those look like in just a sec. So this is what the peach cobbler dump cake looks like. It smells absolutely amazing, nice and golden on top. The cake is cooked through. Again, I made it work, but you definitely need a 9x13 pan. And so this is how it looks, and I'm going to show you the cherry chocolate one. It worked out as well. Whew, I panicked a little bit because again, I don't have the correct pan, but it worked. The cake cooked all the way through. And this was actually my favorite, by the way, like I said before, because child honey, I don't know. But with the cherry chocolate, I got some cherry vanilla ice cream. This was also included in the budget. There were 2 for $5 in the Kroger supermarket. And I got vanilla ice cream for the peach cobbler. Again, 2 for $5 in the grocery supermarket. In the Kroger supermarket. All right, let's move on to the proteins. So for the first entree, I decided to go with lamb. I wanted the lamb popsicles, but they didn't have them, so I went with the bone-in lamb pieces. As you can see, this one says $7 and some change. The others were like $12, but I bought 3 of them. It was just the right amount for up to 4 people. In this little bowl here, I have 8 cloves of garlic chopped, 3 stems of rosemary, 3 stems of thyme, and I put it all over the lamb chops. I'm also going to add some chili powder to it, just like this. At this point, after the garlic and the herbs, you can add whatever you want. I added some salt, some pepper, and I just kept it simple. And this is what it looked like, and I let it marinate. But again, you can use whatever spices you prefer, and you're good to go. Just make sure you use those fresh herbs. So now let's move on to side number 1. I'm doing baby carrots. It's on the lighter side. This whole entire dish is on the lighter side, allegedly, child, allegedly. I have some fresh thyme. Do y'all remember this from the Thanksgiving series? I had some left, so I didn't have to rebuy that. So that was not included in the budget. So to the carrots, I'm going to add some melted butter, just like I'm doing here. I'm going to be using butter all throughout this video, you guys. If you have olive oil, coconut oil, use it. But I'm using butter. Cooked carrots they're kind of like a hit or miss for some people, but I actually like it when it's glazed with like maple syrup or honey and some salt and pepper and some herbs. It's good to go for me with that. But you guys already know I'm pregnant, and so I'm trying to keep the sides on the the lighter side, even though I'm using all this butter, but there's still a little bit on the lighter side. So I went with carrots, but you can use whatever vegetable like, holiday seed vibe vegetables like squash, pumpkin, things like that will go with this exact recipe if you do not like carrots. But these carrots were actually pretty good. Now let's move on to some smashed potatoes. These are not mashed potatoes. They're going to be smashed potatoes, okay? So you guys, if you've been following me for the longest, you know I start my potatoes in cold water. They cook faster. In this case, allegedly, it's not going to be cooked faster because I didn't cut them up. So while those are cooking on the stove for an hour or two, however long that's going to take, it'll give me time to move on to another dish. While the potatoes are cooking, we're going to move on to the Brussels sprouts. Here we go with the butter. Once again, use olive oil, coconut oil, whatever oil you want, use it. This is once a year. It's not going to happen again. I'm making lemon parm Brussels sprouts roasted in the oven. So I added melted butter, some grated Parmesan, some salt, some pepper, of course, and lots of lemon zest from 2 large lemons. First of all, when this lemon hit this Parmesan cheese, it's not even hot, you guys. And the smell is just insane. And it just smells so good. So you want to add your black pepper, lots of it. Oh, child, I done did the most. But anyway, then you're going to mix it up. This is 2 whole bags of Brussels sprouts from the Aldi grocery store. And you want to mix this up, and then I'll show you guys what I do next. For the record, the Brussels sprouts were my favorite part of this dish, and I can't wait for you guys to see how they turned out. This recipe also works with asparagus or your favorite crunchy vegetable that you can put in the oven with this recipe. It's just so good. Lemon and Parmesan has always been the perfect marriage and always will be. They're so good together. And I put it on pretty much anything. I've even put it on chicken. Lemon thyme parm chicken is so good. And I'll probably make that recipe soon. It's really, really good. So after that, I put it on this sheet right here because I wanted it to have more surface space. And then I popped it in the oven. So now let's move on. You know, I almost forgot what I was about to make next. Prego brain is taking me over, honey. But I'm going to sear my lamb chops. They're at room temperature. Room temperature. Do not sear freezing or cold lamb chops thinking you're going to get the same results. However, you could cook your lamb chops however you want to. I do the rule of thumb where I cook lamb chops the way I cook chicken breasts. You cannot overcook them, and you don't cook them forever. I never put them in the oven ever, unless it's like a whole rack or a lamb leg. And that's what I'll put in the oven. But these little things here, they cook up super fast, and I just stir them really, really good. Look at that beautiful color and the herbs over top. And, that's it. I promise you that's it. I know sometimes when as creators we, give you guys directions, y'all are a little bit skeptical, but this is your kitchen. You can cook your lamb however you want. I don't like it super done. I don't like it super, super, super done. And so because it gets too tough for me. So I just stir it on each side about 3 to 4 minutes or until, it's about medium. And then that's it. And I just enjoy them that way. After that, I remove them from the pans because, again, I don't have that many pans in my house currently. But I made it work, and they turned out great. By the way, don't get rid of that stuff in the pan because we're going to build a sauce in just a minute. But I removed those and added the rest and just continued until I was done. And look at these beautiful Brussels sprouts. Y'all ain't even seen nothing yet. Y'all, look. Oh! Look at that. Look at that Brussels sprout, y'all. Look. I cannot. When I tell you I tore up a big old bowl of just Brussels sprouts, it was crazy. They're so good. They were so good, you guys. If you think you don't like Brussels sprouts, use this recipe. They're so good. Those crunchy bits on the bottom is nice and caramelized. It was just good to go and so delicious. All right, so I got rid of the old butter. Like I didn't scrape or wash out the pan. I just got rid of it, and then I added a tablespoon of fresh butter. To that, I added 2 tablespoons of tomato paste, and you want to mix that in like I'm doing here. The sauce, now you could probably buy a store-bought sauce if you prefer, but this sauce was just simply delicious, seriously. So I added a little water at a time to thin it out so I could pick up those delicious pieces off the bottom of the skillet. And I just keep mixing, and getting it nice and zhuzh together, married together. Not zhuzh. Then I used this balsamic glaze, also from the last Thanksgiving series. So this was not included in the budget. And I put it down in there, 2 nice healthy tablespoons of it, and some more butter, because why not? You know, some chicken bouillon powder, some black pepper, and then I mixed that out, and that was the sauce. And this sauce is amazing. Seriously, it was so good. So now I'm going to pour it all over the lamb chops. Oh my God, today. Y'all, I just need one person to make it. Just one. When I made Peanut Father his dinner plate, he tore these lamb chops up. They were so good, you guys. This sauce is amazing. I'm definitely going to make this sauce again. I'm not sure I'll put it on chicken. I feel like it'll be too pungent for chicken, but maybe a steak dish for sure. This was really, really good. All right, so I'm on to entree number 2. I'm going to be making some fettuccine, and I'm using salmon. This was a half a fillet. I got it from the Aldi grocery store. I'm going to season this with some garlic herb and some salt-free zesty seasoning. This seasoning is so good. I got it from Kroger. It's so good. It's super cheap, too. And I'm going to add a little salt because I want to control the amount of salt in the food. So I'm using a little salt. And I'm actually just going to pop this in the air fryer. I popped it in the air fryer for about 6 minutes on 370. And that was it. I don't have a clip of that. I mean, it's self-explanatory. It's 370 in the air fryer, 6 minutes. They were done. They're little pieces of salmon. So they cook up pretty fast. While the pasta is boiling, I decided to work on the cheese sauce, which is some melted butter, of course. I'm going to add poblano pepper because they're super delicious in flavor and I like them. Next, I'm going to add a whole bunch of garlic. What's the pasta sauce without garlic? And I'm going to mix that out and cook it out for a minute. Now, I'm using gluten-free pasta, but you can use whatever pasta you prefer. Next, I'm going to add my pint of heavy whipping cream. I'm going to season this with Mrs. Dash herb seasoning. Use whatever spice you want. Some pepper. I'm not using salt because a lot of cheese is going down in here. But make sure you guys taste it as you go. I'm adding a cup of Parmesan and a cup of white cheddar cheese. And you want to mix this up and taste it. After I tasted mine, I decided that I wanted it to have a little more of a kick, so I decided to add some of that zesty salt-free seasoning from Kroger. That stuff is good. I'm definitely going to go get another one. And it doesn't have any salt in it, so, but it adds a nice, decent kick to your food. So I added some more of that, if the clip will come on, so y'all can see when I added it. Thank you. Then I mixed that up, and now we're going to pour the sauce right over top. So to my cooked gluten-free fettuccine, I'm going to put the sauce all over top. As you can see, the poblano is not cooked all the way to death. They still have body to them, so don't cook them for too long. And I used every last ounce of that sauce. Y'all, I know y'all tired of me saying something is good, but I think I did my thing with this one this time. I think it's because I took my time as well. It took me all day, most of the day, to actually complete this because I had to take breaks. But on a regular day, for a regular human being, this should not take you no more than 3 hours to do this entire spread. But you guys already know why it took me all day. But about 3 hours is the time limit for this. All right, so after that, the cooked salmon, I took it out the air fryer and I'm starting to put it all over top. Now, I didn't mix the salmon in because in my mind, I'm just like, who wants broken up pieces of salmon, And again, this is a budget video, even though it's $100 and something. It's a budget video. And, you know, it wasn't a ton of salmon anyway. And I felt like doing it this way, everyone can get a piece or two and you're good to go. So now let's work on the milk sauce for the smashed potatoes. So to the butter, once again, you're going to add tons of garlic, cook that down for a couple minutes, add some milk, heavy cream or half and half, and bring that up to a simmer. You're also going to add an entire block of cream cheese. Remember, this is 5 pounds of potatoes. I'm also going to add some garlic herb seasoning, some black pepper, some salt. Make sure you taste it as you go, some chives. And I'm just going to break this down and mix it up and get it nice and combined. And this was also great. I know y'all sick of me, but this was also great. Also, you guys, even if you don't make this exact mixture, when you make mashed or smashed potatoes, don't add cold milk to your mashed or smashed potatoes because I just feel like they make them gummy, you know? I always use hot or cold, hot. Hot milk, heavy cream, whatever, and you're good to go. So to the potatoes, I have them right here in this bowl. I've been doing a whole lot of risky stuff during this whole entire video. Look at this bowl that I'm about to use. So you want to put this mixture all down in here. Nothing is curdled. That's the cream cheese. I put the entire skillet of mixture down in there. It's a lot of potatoes. And I actually wish I made more. But I'm going to smash, 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 smash. No passing. Smash. Okay? And then I'm going to get it nice and creamy and mixed together. So this is what everything looks like put out. All right, everything that I made today. You got the lamb, you got the smashed potatoes. The lamb is just, look at the lamb. The smashed potatoes with the chives, the cream cheese, the milk, the butter, the pasta with the salmon on top. That was great. The Brussels sprouts, the lemon parm Brussels sprouts. I'm definitely going to make that again. The peach cobbler, the carrots, and of course the cherry chocolate dump cake. I just wanted y'all to see the layers. I'm so extra. This is what your plate would look like. I feel like this is more than enough food, you know. And we just got up off of Thanksgiving. Don't nobody want to be eating all that stuff again. So I tried to switch it up as much as I could. This is what the cherry chocolate dump cake looked like with the cherry vanilla ice cream. And that was it, you guys. All right, so this is an example of the receipt. As you can see, I had other things on there that I had to get for the house. So just give or take certain things that I have on there. But the main stuff I got were about $50 or so for the first receipt. The second one, I think I lost it somewhere. But this is what you get. All of this came from Aldi. Ignore the peppermints. I forgot to take that out as well. That's for another recipe that's coming up. But that's it, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I love you for your support. And I'll catch you on my next video. Bye.